here today with Reenita Das, partner and Senior Vice President, Transformation Health, Frost and Sullivan, and Reenita is based in California.
Very nice to be here,
Great.
Dave.
So this is, I think, your second or third time at BioTaiwan?
Yes, it's a wonderful opportunity for me, and I've come to Taiwan after 4 years, and I've seen so much of progress.
Okay, so yesterday you gave a presentation at BioBusiness Asia, looking at what would be the scenario for healthcare in the year 2025. So can you summarize what are some of the major trends or changes that you envisage will be in 2025 in healthcare?
So the way I look at it is obviously we're going through a tremendous digital transformation of this space. So the three big pillars that I see in healthcare transformation in 2025 is going to be that care is going to be delivered any place, anytime, anywhere. It's almost similar to the banking industry and the financial services sector, where we had to wait 20 years ago to go to a bank and line up to take out money from a teller, and today banking is on our smartphone. So I think that's the big transition that's going to happen, where care will be delivered anytime. I think the other big transition is that a lot of the care is going to be based on data, AI, and artificial intelligence and machine learning tools that will help us to be able to give us the outcomes we need. So the whole aspect of precision medicine and personalized medicine, and also be able to create systems and processes in place that are transparent and much more easier for the patient and other stakeholders. So we're really looking at a connected ecosystem.
Okay, so how do you see Taiwan kind of fitting into this future health tech?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think Taiwan has some amazing technology. They've done some wonderful work in pharmaceuticals, starting to begin in biotechnology. Such a strong backbone in semiconductors. So I think Taiwan has all the essential ingredients to become a global player. I think what Taiwan today lacks is the data part of it, and the digitization part of it, and the entrepreneurship part of it. So these are the three pillars now that Taiwan needs to build in order to get to the next millennium. And I take an example out of our book from Taiwan's neighbor China. 3 or 4 years back, China was nowhere as far as digital is concerned, and today it's one of the leading countries for artificial intelligence. In fact, they're leading for AI in medical imaging and radiology.
So I guess in the years that you've come to Taiwan, you've probably seen the change in cell phone saturation, right? Maybe 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 50%, but now everybody has a cell phone.
Right.
So do you see that that the saturation of cell phone use is going to lead to a lot more health apps, or a lot more perhaps health monitoring or physiological monitoring opportunities?
Absolutely, and I think this is what countries like India and China are pivoting to do. They're using the cell phone as a way for you to force yourself to register when you go to the hospital, and instead of filling out hard copies, you're forced to register online on your cell phone. Or for making appointments, you're forced to do that electronically rather than making calls and physically going and standing in line. So these are simple ways that helps consumers redirect and make them use digital technology. And I think the cell phone is the fastest, easiest way to get better results and more effectiveness, and be able to then create the data that Taiwan needs. I know data security is a big issue, and confidentiality is a big issue today in Taiwan. But that's in every country of the world, and we have to just work through that and enable and create the right levers in the system to make that possible.
And how about preventative medicine? I guess this is part of this continuum of digital health, isn't it? If you have an app which can monitor your health, it can also maybe recommend some lifestyle changes or some behavioral changes. So do you see preventative medicine as being a big part of this in the future?
I think preventative medicine and diagnostics and monitoring will be very, very big. This is an industry still that is very, very fledgling. We need to build the diagnostics industry in Taiwan. We're focusing too much on therapeutics. In terms of monitoring and adherence, will be the biggest challenge. I think there's so many apps there, but people in 3 months don't use it anymore. Yeah. So how do you sustain the use of apps? And I think that can happen through health coaching, through someone physically being able to help to create that motivation.
Right, so does Frost & Sullivan see a kind of a bubble in health apps? Do you think the better players will start to emerge and the others will fall away?
I think today there's an app for almost every body part, literally. There's an app for almost every body part, that you can think about, and several of them for some body parts. I think there are too many. We need to have it much more, concentrated, and systems where it plays in multiple disease areas, not just one app for one disease.
So looking at the whole kind of 2025 future scenario for healthcare, some positive things. Do you see any kind of negative trends that will emerge in 10 years?
I think one of the big things that we're seeing from the US perspective is the hospital consolidation that's happening, and that is a good thing, because what is going to happen is even though the number of hospitals will come down, we're going to be able to see a lot of the health insurance companies merge with hospitals and create systems that is better for the patient as well. In terms of drug transparency and pricing, I think it's a very good thing to have, so people can know what they're paying for. That's another big thing that's going to come up, and it's already set the wheel rolling. In terms of negatives, I think right now the biggest negative is that data has become a very bad word, especially in Asian countries, especially after what happened with Facebook in Europe and the whole GDPR issue. So I think right now we're just on against that big onslaught that has just happened. But we have to recover and we have to move ahead. And I think data can be very, very positive, and we have to create those positive stories and provide those solutions to what people need and the security behind it.
Well, thank you very much, Reenita.
Thank you.
Great
Thank you,
to talk to
Dave. Thank you.